Welcome, my name is Mr. Munoz, and this is the watercolor segment of Exploring Art. And I just want to go over some things in order to review a few basic things that we've already done, but we need to get better at doing, and so that we can progress in our watercolor class. So the first thing I want to do is talk to you about the fact that we are going to be using brushes, and we have, again, for review, some of the basic materials that you need to use in class. And the whole idea is that we go over these practicums, you go over the material I'm giving you here, and then you help and you use these practicums and exercises when you go back to class and you have time to work with the materials. Okay, first of all, pencil. We have a round brush, number 10 or number 8. This one is a number 10, and then this is our flat brush, 3/4 inch, 1 inch, and then this is another cute little one that I have that I kind of like. It's flat and that, and it works quite nicely. We'll show you that later. And then the rigger brush, which is also known as a liner brush. It's known as a rigger brush because on ships and that, when you paint all the rigging on a ship, you would use the rigger brush, okay? And then we have our paper, 140-pound paper. You can use 140-pound or you can use 300-pound, but we're going to use in class 140-pound. Is a little easier to work with. It doesn't take nearly as much water and paint, and as you get more experience you can go to 300-pound, okay? And then we have here our palette, and I only have one color because later on we go into color theory and that mixing colors. I'll do practicums on that, but right now we have here sepia, and that's the one color. Now over here we have our paper towel that we need, and then we have water here, and then we also have kind of like a sponge or chemise that we can also use. Okay, so I'm going to take these brushes away. Now this is going to be a little bit of a challenge for me because I am not only the instructor guiding you through the exercises, but I'm also the cameraman, the director, and the producer. And so I'm looking at my material halfway with the camera and half in the actual paper, which is certainly not the way one normally paints. Okay, I'm going to take these brushes then and put them back over here. I don't need them right now. I'm going to take the pencil right over here, okay, and I'm going to draw a square here on the paper, okay, and right next to it I'm going to draw another one. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a wash. One wash we're going to use a flat brush, one wash we're going to use a round brush to review how we use the brush. So here's the water, here's the brush, okay? And I get some water on there, and we come to our paint, grab a little bit of paint, and we just take a little bit, bring it down like that, okay? And then we're going to do this on dry papers, and we're going to use a lot of water, okay, because we're going to do this on dry paper. I think I need a tad bit more paint, but that's okay. I think this will work for now. And then we go over, we put our brush down. Notice how I do it on the side. That's how we brush. Now you notice a bead of water there? We come back, get some more paint. We pick up that bead as we add the next line. You see that gives us a nice drop here. We move quickly so that nothing dries. You know what the old rule is. You've got 10 to 15 seconds before paint dries. Go over the bead, go down again. And then we take a little bit more paint, go right where the bead is, and we go across like that. Then we come back right where the bead is. You see that bead right across the way there. Come here. Whoops, something fell in the studio. And then we do one more time. And now at this time, we're not going past the line. We go through here. Now, when it beads up, we're going to take the brush. We're going to rinse it off. Okay, we're going to come over here, dry it, and then with a dry brush, you see, we're going to just touch that. And what we're doing is picking up that excess water. Voila! That is a wash. That is a normal wash, and it goes all the way down on the paper like that. Anytime you're placing paint on paper, you're doing a type of wash. And I'm going to show you that a little bit later, okay? Now, let's do the same thing over here, but this time we're not going to use that brush, we're going to use our round brush, okay? Now, we're going to soak it up, and I think we need just a little bit of paint, so I am going to open here a tube of my sepia. I'm going to put a little bit over here, just a little bit like that. That's all we need. Okay. Now we can take our brush, okay, go in here, pick some of that. I'm going to make this nice and dark. So you make it darker than the other one. We're just doing a straight wash, okay, just a straight wash. See how dark that is? That's pretty dark. Get a little bit of water in there, mix that up here, get that really soaked. And remember what I said, you don't use the tip of your brush, use the side of your brush when you're painting. And so we put it down like that, we spread those bristles, okay? I'm going to go over it here a little bit to make sure that we get that, okay? Then we go back in, we get some more, we do exactly what we did before with the flat brush. We catch those drip marks. Now I'm going over it a second time. That's okay, as long as it's not dry yet. Now look, you notice how it's beating down here. Now we go back in there, we pick that up, okay, we go across, and then we get some more water, get some more paint, pick up where the beading is. You can see it there, it's very prominent, and then we just go over it, okay. And now I'm going to tell you what, we'll make this a little graded. We'll put less paint now and just more water, so we'll just catch that like that, okay. Again, just a little bit of water and paint, and it would come like that. Now I'm going to rinse the brush off, and now I'm going to dry it here, and then I'm going to now wait a minute, didn't do that right. Get some water here, and we're going to bleed that down, okay. Put a little bit more paint on there, and then just straight water as we end it, okay. And there you've got a graded wash. Now again, you've got some collection of paint at the bottom, so just pick it up, okay. And so there we go. We have two different kinds of washes there, okay. Now if I were doing a graded wash, let's say a graded wash where I really wanted it dark on top and then really going down, I bring my pencil back here. I would draw my square here. Notice I'm not using the whole paper. I'm not wasting the whole paper. These are all washes. They may be little ones, but they do the job. Now let's go in here, get some wet, get a lot of soak, a lot of color there. A lot of color, nice and dark. Now we're going to go over it here. This is with the round brush. Okay, look at that. Nice, what we call juicy paint. Look at that. Wow. Okay, now we're going to go in, get a little bit more paint. We're going to spread it down again. Great. Okay, now we're going to rinse the brush and not take quite as much paint. And we're going to go back up here. Okay. And then we're going to rinse a little bit more. Take a little less paint. And then really rinse the brush dry and see if we can't get, I mean not dry, but see if we can just get it as light as possible, okay? So we go from dark to medium to light. Dark, medium, light. That's called a wash, okay? And let's do it again with the flat brush, okay? We'll take the flash brush here, flat brush again. And I'm separating my brain here. It's funny, art is in some ways, I'm using technical, two sides of my brain at the same time. The right side of the brain for the art and the left side of the brain for making sure I do this right and get all the technicalities down here. Okay, here we go. Lots of paint. Alright, we come here, we just plop that on, put in some more paint on there. Okay, now that we've got those two on, alright, now maybe a little bit less. Maybe dry the brush just a tad. Let's put a little bit less. See how that's beading up there? It's nice. Yeah, I missed a spot there a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to really rinse the brush. Okay. I'll dry it and then rinse it one more time, but I got to hurry up because I don't want this to dry on me. And that's what we got. Okay, now we have a graded wash. There you go. a dark, a medium, and light. Okay, and so whether you're using a flat brush here or you're using a round brush, you can do washes. Now remember what I said about paint. Now this is very important. When you paint, you're really painting edges, and then you've got solid edges, and you've got you know, what we call those hard edges, and then we have soft edges. Okay. Now first of all, in doing the washes, let me show you what I meant before about washes before I get to edges. I should have said this first. Let's say I do something like this, and maybe something like this. Okay. Now there's two, you know, I take my round brush, okay, and I go in there to paint that. I may put a lot of paint on my brush. Maybe I'll put some paint in this area here, okay, and then right away I might rinse the brush, and then just with the paint that's already on the paper, I will spread that down, you see. Okay, that's a wash. It may not be a graded wash like we did here, but that's still a wash. Anytime you're putting paint down on paper, you're creating some kind of a wash. See here, again, let me try on the bottom. If I put some paint here and make it really, really strong here, okay, and I'm really placing paint. I mean, I'm not painting back and forth. I'm just placing the paint. Then I can take it, dabble, dry up my brush a little. Then I can take that and I can spread it any way I want to, you know, and I'll get all these different kinds of ways in which to paint. Okay, there. Okay, so you know, there's many ways. Or before it's dry, I can go in there and spread that paint around. Okay, those are both washes, and we have to learn how to do that. Place the paint. Now I was talking about edges. There's two types of edges, right? Hard edge and a soft edge. Let me show you. If I take this and really saturate it, okay, now I come over here and I just paint a stroke. Okay, now this edge here is a hard edge. Now if I want a soft edge, I can rinse the brush, keep it a little wet, and before that dries I can go in there like this and I dissolve the paint there a little bit. That becomes a soft edge. The difference between a hard edge and a soft edge. Okay, those are important concepts that we have to learn. Hard edge, soft edge. And you've got to become an expert at doing that, okay? So what I want to do now, I'm going to stop this lesson. This is the very first one. We've done a wash. We've done really 4 washes. We've placed paint on the paper and we've rinsed the brush and then spread the paint. We did a hard edge and we did a soft edge, okay? Maybe I'll do that just one more time for you. Hard edge, okay? Hard edge. Now, right now, it's hard edge on both sides, but the minute I add a little bit of water, okay, and I touch the one edge, it becomes a soft edge. And if I really, I lost my little chemise here. If I really dry it here and go back here and really play with that, you see it dissolves. So here's again, good example. Hard edge on the top, soft edge on the bottom. Hard edge on the top, soft edge on the bottom. I need you to practice doing all of these exercises. Taking pieces of paper, not doing the whole page, but just doing little squares like this and trying to practice and try to give it as even as you possibly can, okay? Even better than this. Try to get it even and do graded washes from dark to light. Try to do a uniform wash, graded washes using flat and round brush. Do little circle blops or whatever, and then place the paint in that little area and then spread it around the borders, okay? If you go over the border, it's okay, it doesn't matter. And then practice hard edge, soft edge. Hard edge, soft edge. Thank you.